Okay, let's dive into this. We're always told that self-doubt is this enemy we have to conquer, right? That it's a sign of weakness, it's just holding us back. But what if that's completely wrong? What if that little nagging voice of doubt is actually a side effect of something incredibly powerful?
I mean, just think about it for a second. That one brilliant friend you have, or that super insightful colleague. Maybe it's even you. Why is it that the more capable a person seems, the more they seem to question their own abilities? It really feels like a paradox, doesn't it?
Well, here's the core idea we're going to unpack. That feeling of uncertainty, it's not a bug in your system. It's a feature, and it's hardwired by the exact same mental processes that make you sharp, creative, and insightful in the first place.
To really get this, though, we first have to just completely dismantle this huge cultural myth we all have. This idea of the unshakably confident genius. You know the type, we see it in movies all the time. The brilliant mind who just has all the answers and never, ever hesitates. The reality is, well, it's a lot more interesting and honestly a lot more human than that. So look at this. On one side, you've got the myth we're sold. High intelligence equals high confidence. Simple. They know everything. But the psychological reality is the total opposite. High intelligence often leads to a really high awareness of everything you don't know. It's not about having all the answers. It's about being smart enough to question the answers you have.
Okay, so let's get into the actual psychology of why this happens. It's this fascinating thing where the more you learn about any subject, the more complex and nuanced you realize it is. All those simple answers just kind of dissolve, and they're replaced by this huge web of possibilities and exceptions and unknowns. And that's right when certainty starts to fade. And that brings us to this really key concept, intellectual humility. Now, this isn't about having low self-esteem or thinking you're not smart, not at all. It's actually a super advanced form of self-awareness. It's the ability to recognize that, hey, your beliefs and your knowledge have boundaries, and you could absolutely be wrong. It's a hallmark of a truly curious and intelligent mind.
This old saying just captures the feeling perfectly. Imagine your knowledge is the area inside a circle. As you learn more, that circle gets bigger, right? But what else gets bigger? The circumference, the border, with everything you don't know. So the smarter you get, the more you become aware of just how vast the unknown really is.
So how does this actually show up in our day-to-day thinking? Well, self-doubt isn't just some vague feeling that comes out of nowhere. It's usually the direct result of some very specific and very powerful cognitive habits. Think of them like mental tools that are amazing for solving problems, but they come with an interesting side effect. Take a look at these. Do any of these feel a little familiar? Maybe it's that habit of seeing a problem from every single possible angle. That's great for strategy, but it also means you see every single way it could go wrong. Or maybe you're always anticipating a dozen potential failures down the road. Or you hold yourself to these impossibly high standards. You overthink past mistakes, you constantly question your own conclusions. These aren't weaknesses. This is the mental workload of a highly analytical brain. Really, when you think about it, these powerful habits kind of boil down to three key things. First, that D engines are what power innovation, but yeah, they're also what fuel our self-doubt. And that brings us to the most important part of this whole explainer. We've seen why it happens. Now, how do we stop seeing this whole thing as a burden and actually start using it as a strength? Because the key isn't to get rid of your doubt. The key is to reframe it. Here is a simple but really powerful 3-step framework. First, just acknowledge the feeling. When you feel doubt, just let it be there. Don't judge it, don't fight it. Next, try to identify the superpower behind it. Are you feeling doubt? Maybe that's not insecurity. Maybe that's your mind being incredibly thorough. Is it anxiety? Maybe that's your ability to anticipate challenges. And finally, use it. Let that feeling push you to double-check your work, to prepare more, to ask better questions. You can turn it from a brake into a turbocharger. So look, if you take only one thing away today, let it be this. That feeling of doubt that bubbles up when you're facing a real challenge, it is not a signal that you're an imposter or that you're about to fail. It's the exact opposite. It is the signature of a mind that is complex enough to see the whole picture, humble enough to know its own limits, and driven enough to want to get it right. Your doubt is not your enemy. It is a testament to your depth. So I'll just leave you with this question to chew on. That inner critic you've been trying so hard to silence, what would happen if you started listening to it, not as a judge, but as a trusted advisor? What could you truly achieve if you actually learned how to harness its power?